Goodwill brings to you the weekly share market update dated the 29th of July, 2023. The Power Finance Corporation Limited has executed various memoranda of understanding worth over 2.37 rupees lakh crore with 20 clean energy companies both in the public and private sectors. PFC, which looks to position itself as the focal funding agency for energy transition, signed these memorandum of understanding with solar, wind power, green hydrogen, battery storage, and electric vehicle companies along with the manufacturers of green energy equipment among others in the clean energy space. Adani, Greenco, Renew, Continuum, Avrada, JBM Auto, Mega Engineering and Infrastructure Limited, and Rajasthan Renewable Energy were some of the companies with whom PFC signed the Memorandum of Understanding. Shares of Indraprastha Gas Limited slumped 5% on July 24 as the company's growth was subdued during the April-June quarter of financial year 2024. Even as brokerage firms have recommended buying IGL shares, adoption of electric vehicles is a looming threat to the company's volume in the medium to long term. Meanwhile, Jefferies has buy recommendation on the stock with a target price of 565 rupees. The brokerage firm pointed out that earnings in the near term are supported by expanding margin on feedstock cost relief. However, adoption of electric vehicle in the NCR region poses a medium-term risk to 30% of the company's overall volume, Jefferies cautioned. Biocon shares were down 5% on Monday after the company received 6 observations from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. The US FDA conducted 2 GMP inspections at Biocon Insulin's manufacturing facility in Malaysia, encompassing biologics drug substance, drug product units and quality control laboratories, as well as the delivery devices unit. These inspections were conducted between July the 10th and 20th. The agency has issued Form 483 with 6 observations for drug substance, drug product units and quality control laboratories as well as 2 observations for the delivery devices unit. The country's second largest private sector lender has reported a 39.7% on-year growth in standalone profit, at 9,648 rupees crore for quarter ended June financial year 2024, despite elevated provisions and contingencies. Net interest income increased by 38% on-year to 18,227 rupees crore, with net interest margin expansion of 77 basis points on-year at 4.78%, while loan growth was 18.1% and deposits grew by 17.9% year-on-year. Asset quality was stable with gross NPA falling 5 bps sequentially to 2.76%, and net NPA flat at 0.48% for the quarter. The shares of Dr. Reddy's Laboratories rose around 2% to hit a 52-week high of 5,577 rupees in early trade on July 27 as investors cheered for the company's better-than-expected Q1 earnings. The drug maker's top line as well as bottom line topped the street's expectations despite a high base. Much of the growth for the drug maker in April-June was aided by a strong performance in the US business. The company also revealed that the robust growth numbers in the US were aided by strong Revlimid as well as non-Revlimid sales. Wright signs Memorandum of Understanding with IRFC to identify mutual areas of collaboration, stock down 4%. The company's board is scheduled to meet on July 28 to consider, approve and take on record standalone and consolidated unaudited financial results of the company for the quarter ended on June 30. Colgate-Palmolive's profit jumps 31% year-on-year to 274 rupees crore, beats estimates. Stock surges 6%. Shares of Colgate-Palmolive jumped 6% in trade on July 27, post robust Q1 results as the household and personal products company performed better than street estimates. Vesuvius India soars 20% on 77% rise in net profit for Q1 financial year 2024. The refractories manufacturer reported a net profit of 52.24 rupees crore for Q1 financial year 2024 as compared to 29.43 rupees crore reported in Q1 financial year 2023. Sequentially, the net profit was up by 20.5% from 43.35 rupees crore reported in the March quarter. In the board meeting held to approve the quarterly financial results, the management also gave its assent to a capital expenditure of 87.7 rupees crore for setting up a new Monolithic's refractory manufacturing plant at Anakapalli in Andhra Pradesh. The company expects the new plant to add 1.2 lakh tons per year to its production capacity. Birlasoft hits 52-week high as net profit rises 23% quarter-on-quarter, margin expands. The company's net profit rose nearly 23% quarter-on-quarter to 137.5 rupees crore, as compared to 112.2 rupees crore a quarter ago. Whereas revenue rose 3% to 1,262.7 rupees crore. Operating margin also expanded by 168 basis points sequentially to 15.3%. Tata Steel rises over 3% as Q1 earnings beat Street's estimate. Despite fall in Tata Steel's Q1 numbers, the company's top line as well as bottom line still came above the Street's expectations, preventing a slump in the stock price. Net profit rises 42% to 1,665 rupees crore, revenue up 29%. Bajaj Auto had earlier reported 10% growth in overall volumes at 10.27 lakh units, led by 72% year-on-year increase in the domestic two-wheeler segment on account of a favorable base and a pickup in demand. Jubilant FoodWorks revenue from operations, meanwhile, rose 6% year-on-year to 1,334.5 rupees crore during the quarter under review, compared to 1,255.09 rupees crore in the year-ago period. Consolidated profit fell to 289.2 million rupees, $3.53 million, in the quarter ended June 30, from 1.13 billion rupees a year earlier. Total expenses climbed 13% to 12.49 billion rupees in the first quarter, with standalone gross margin contracting 69 basis points to 76%. Torrent Power shares gained 2% on launch of EV charging stations. HDFC AMC revenue yield falls on growing AUM, brokerages offer mixed verdict. HDFC AMC has impressed analysts with growth in its assets under management, AUM, systematic transactions, and with market share gains in the June quarter. However, a 42% rally in the past 2 months indicates the stock has priced in all positives, believe brokerages. ITC shares suffered a sharp decline as investors disliked the company's decision not to fully split its hotel business, and retain 40% of the new entity. Market participants were put off because only 60% will be distributed to shareholders. Erkan Thangamile Jewellery Limited has moved up by 52.55% this week with a change of 453 points. It has traded with a net volume of 3.56 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 1,315 rupees against the previous closing price of 862 rupees, and the share price is trading above its moving average 868, which is a good indication for the stock. Meanwhile, shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 92.24, which indicates that the stock is in overbought region. The stock has made the highest move to 1325 points this week. MSP Steel Power Limited has moved up by 49.71% this week with a change of 4.25 points. It has traded with a net volume of 26.55 million shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 12.80 rupees against the previous closing price of 8.55 rupees, and the share price is trading above its moving average 9.45, which is a good indication for the stock. Meanwhile, shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 79.47. The stock has made the highest move to 13 points this week. TIL Limited has moved up by 27.59% this week with a change of 54.40 points. It has traded with a net volume of 103.14 thousand shares. The share is currently trading at the price level of 251 rupees against the previous closing price of 197 rupees, and the share price is trading above its moving average 164, which is a good indication for the stock. Meanwhile, shares are trading with a relative strength index of around 78. The stock has made the highest move to 251.60 points this week. The Nifty 50 extended selling pressure but showed a nice recovery towards the last hour of trade, by taking good support near 19,525.7. or 20-day exponential moving average forming a dodgy kind of candlestick pattern on the daily charts, indicating indecisiveness among bulls and bears about the future market trend, and finally settled with moderate losses on July 28, the first day of the August series. On a weekly basis, the index has negated higher highs formation for the first time in the last 18 consecutive weeks, but has taken good support at the previous week's low of around 19,560 and closed with 0.5% loss, forming a bearish candlestick pattern with upper and lower wicks on the weekly charts. Hence, if the index breaks the 19,500 to 19,450 area in the coming sessions, then the possible correction up to 19,300 can be seen. However, the 19,700 to 19,800 is expected to be immediate resistance. Normally, such dodgy pattern formation post reasonable up move and down moves calls for caution for impending reversals. Hence, this dodgy pattern formation after one session of decline of Friday signals the possibility of minor upside bounce in the short term. Bank Nifty has also seen higher highs and higher lows formation but has taken support at the 20-day EMA, 45,331, on a closing basis. If the said levels get broken, then it may fall below the 45,000 marks. The index dropped 211 points to close at 45,468, and formed a small bearish candlestick pattern with long upper and lower shadows on the daily charts, while for the week, the index was down 1.32% and formed a long bearish candlestick pattern on the weekly scale, but traded within the previous week's range. Though it witnessed a pullback during the last hour of the session, however, the structure still points towards a short-term consolidation. Overall, we expect the Bank Nifty to consolidate between 46,500 to 45,000. You can contact us from the details mentioned on the screen via a call, WhatsApp, or email. Thank you for listening the video to the end. Please do like, share, and subscribe the video for the latest updates in the market.